We have all heard of OPEC Plus and the high-profile production cut they just announced. But a lot of Americans are asking why OPEC Plus has gotten back in control of oil prices. What about U.S. oil fracking? What about the Permian Basin? What about all of that wildcatting that crashed oil prices back in 2014? Where is all of that oil production capacity when we need it most? Well, my friends, some pundits are saying that the days of the U.S. shale boom may be over. But new reports suggest that a new U.S. shale job boom is coming. Energy research firm Rystad Energy believes the U.S. shale patch is set for a job boom, with wages for shale workers set to grow through the end of 2024. The average wage growth is forecast to be between 2.5% and 7.2% in 2023 and 2024, which will contribute to higher costs for operators. Executives have warned that a tight labor market, high wage pressures, and supply chain issues are adding pressure to drilling activities. What does this mean for consumers? What does this mean for energy markets? What does this mean for oil companies? What does it mean for the U.S. economy? And what does it mean for the future of the United States? But, before we get into all of that, please hit the like button and leave us a comment below. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. And, before we continue, a word from the sponsor of this video. Today's sponsor is InnerLife.com, creator of the InnerLife STS system. InnerLife STS is a cloud mobile platform for mental health care and its integration with primary medical care. InnerLife STS is designed for assessment, data collection and analytics, documentation, and progress tracking. InnerLife STS creates and composes conceptualized narratives and builds them into professional-grade reports. These reports are designed for use by mental health professionals, primary care physicians, justice system professionals and universities and include mental health assessment reports, mental health treatment reports, and treatment progress reports. And InnerLife STS uses doctor-selected pseudonames for all patients. So, only your doctor knows your identity. Be sure to talk to your doctor about InnerLife STS. First of all, what is oil shale fracking? Oil shale fracking is a process of extracting oil from shale rock formations through hydraulic fracturing, also known as fracking. Shale rock formations contain organic materials, including oil and gas, which can be extracted through fracking. The process begins by drilling a well into the shale rock formation. A mixture of water, sand, and chemicals is then injected at high pressure into the well, which creates small fractures in the rock. These fractures allow the trapped oil and gas to flow to the surface, where it can be collected. Oil shale fracking is different from traditional oil drilling methods because it requires more energy and resources to extract the oil. The process also generates more waste and pollution than traditional drilling, and there are concerns about the potential environmental impacts of fracking, including contamination of groundwater and air pollution. Despite these concerns, oil shale fracking has become an increasingly important source of oil in recent years, particularly in the United States, where it has contributed to a boom in domestic oil production. The United States has several major oil shale regions that are important for oil production. 1. The Bakken Formation. This is located primarily in North Dakota and Montana, and it is one of the most productive oil shale regions in the country. 1. The Bakken Formation contains a type of oil called tight oil, which is trapped in shale rock and requires hydraulic fracturing to extract. 2. The Eagle Ford Formation. This is located in South Texas and is known for producing both oil and natural gas. 2. The Eagle Ford Formation is a major source of tight oil, and has been a significant contributor to the growth of domestic oil production in the United States. 3. The Permian Basin. This region is located in West Texas and southeastern New Mexico and is one of the most productive oil and gas regions in the world. 3. The Permian Basin produces both conventional and unconventional oil and gas, including shale oil and gas. 4. The Niobrara Formation. This is located in Colorado, Wyoming, Kansas, and Nebraska, and it is a significant source of oil and natural gas. 4. The Niobrara Formation contains both conventional and unconventional oil and gas, including tight oil. 5. The Marcellus Formation. This is located primarily in Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Ohio, and it is a major source of natural gas. 5. The Marcellus Formation contains large reserves of shale gas, which can be extracted through hydraulic fracturing. These are just a few of the major oil shale regions in the United States, but there are many others as well. The production of oil from shale formations has been a significant factor in the growth of domestic oil production in the United States in recent years, and it is likely to continue to play an important role in the country's energy landscape in the years to come. Rising oil and gas production in the U.S. shale patch is expected to bring higher wages for workers in the sector as companies need to attract more labor in an already tight market, energy research firm Rystad Energy says. Wages are set to grow through the end of 2024, due to the tight labor market, retirements in the industry, and competition from clean energy jobs, Rystad Energy said in a new report quoted by the Journal of Petroleum Technology. Average wage growth is expected at 2.5% and 7.2% in 2023 and 2024. Wages have already grown in the key shale basins, including the Permian, the Eagle Ford, Haynesville, Williston, and Appalachia, according to Rystad Energy. Those areas saw on average over 9% growth in wages in 2022. The growth in wages has increased the budgets of the operators in the shale patch and contributed to cost inflation. According to the Dallas Fed Energy Survey for the first quarter, executives at Permian operators saw oil and gas expansion stall amid surging costs and worsening outlooks. The aggregate wages and benefits index edged higher, to 43.6 from 40.2, according to the survey. Asked about what changes they expect in the workforce at their company from December 2022 to December 2023, more than half of the executives, 55%, expect their headcount to remain unchanged from December 2022 to December 2023. However, 37% of executives expect the number of employees to increase, of which 4% expect a significant increase and 33% anticipate a slight increase. Only 8% anticipate the number of employees decreasing over the period, according to the survey. Whereas the most selected response among E&P firms was for employment to remain the same in 2023, the most selected response of support service firms was for employment to increase slightly in 2023, the poll found. One executive at a services firm said in comments to the survey, "Regulatory uncertainty is a major overhang. Labor remains tight, with continued wage pressures. Supply chain issues remain." Some experts are saying that the days of explosive growth in U.S. shale oil production are over. Oil production in the United States is rising. But it is increasing at a far slower pace than it did before the pandemic. And the meager rise is at lower rates than everyone expected just a few months ago. That is mainly because there are new priorities in the shale patch. First, there is capital discipline and a focus returning capital to shareholders repaying debt. Second, supply chain constraints. Third, and cost inflation. Fourth, the Biden administration's mixed signals to the American oil and gas industry. These factors have conspired to drag down U.S. oil production growth. And the oil industry is blamed for high gasoline prices. Also, a threat of higher taxes is not motivating U.S. producers, either. Most frackers are reluctant to commit to spending millions more on drilling. What is worse, there does not seem to be any medium to long-term vision. There is no federal plan on how the U.S. oil and gas resources could be used to increase America's energy security. To say nothing about the energy security of Western allies who depend on oil imports. Oil industry analysts have downgraded their forecasts of crude oil production for 2022 and 2023. Although they still expect U.S. oil output to increase to a new annual average record next year. But these projections have been repeatedly revised downward since the start of this year. Oil firm executives are blaming Biden administration's policies. Anti-oil rhetoric. Inflation. Contractor time delays. And regulatory uncertainty. These factors are all negatively impacting drilling and production planning. Oil industry analysts expect U.S. crude oil production to average 11.7 million barrels per day this year. But they expect an increase to 12.4 million barrels per day in 2023. Actually, that would surpass the record high set in 2019. Prior to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, analysts expected U.S. production growth of 900,000 barrels per day this year. However, raging inflation and critical supply chain delays scuttled that growth. Growth was also muted due to the headwinds created by oilfield services limitations. Drillers were also scared by the risk of recession. And reduced performance from recently drilled wells drilled in the Permian Basin. The Permian Basin is the largest oil fracking area in the world. It is located in western Texas and eastern New Mexico. Because of that confluence of factors, oil production forecast has been significantly downgraded. Analysts now expect growth of around 450,000 barrels per day growth in 2022. And 560,000 barrels per day growth for 2023. Wall Street investors are pressuring U.S. oil companies more than ever before. They are demanding a laser focus on returning money to shareholders. Not the wildcatting of aggressive growth strategies. The current state of affairs of the U.S. oil industry stand in stark contrast most of the past decade. Between 2009 and 2019, U.S. oil producers ran wild. But, what do you think? Please hit the like button and leave us a comment below. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. Please share this video on social media. Thank you for watching.